bum, bum.
Bring.
Pew, 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 pew. Pew, 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 pew.
It actually happened on a day when we have a show.
Lasers!
I'm all choked up. The Dodgers won a baseball game, everybody. Wow, believe it or not.
Woo.
Uh,
Legitimately
our
the first real lasers in over a week.
Yeah. The last couple times we did it, we were just making up excuses to try and have lasers just to have fun. But the Dodgers have won a baseball game. Our short regional nightmare is temporarily, at least, over. The Dodgers come from behind and hang on for a 6-5 win against the Kansas City Royals to open the homestand. Yay! We will get into that. Turk Scubal made his made his home debut as a Dodger. He actually had pitched the Dodger Stadium last year, but as a Tiger and not as a Dodger. So he actually got to do it wearing the home whites. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about plenty of other things. But first, I should probably tell you that the Blue Review is powered by LAX. LAX is preparing for a huge win against traffic. The Skylink train is currently in testing to ensure it's a fast and reliable ride to every terminal. For more information, visit lawa.org/ESPN. Greg, they did it. They did it. They won. They actually won a baseball game for the whole world to see.
It was insane. It was amazing, and they almost lost it. They tried to give it away multiple times. Thank you, Jack Dreyer. But at the same time, if you want to look at it the positive side, Marcus, because I'm Mr. Positive. I'm usually the I'm very positive all the time on this show. They've won 2 of 3, Marcus. That's all I know. They won on Saturday. They won on Monday. That's 2 out of 3. I know they lost on Sunday, but hey, that to me is more of a winning streak than not a winning streak. So we're in a good space here.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a fair way to look at it. They have won 2 out of their last 3 games. So maybe things are starting to turn a little bit. Definitely some positives from that. Obviously, the biggest positive, Max Muncy finally coming through with a big hit. Nobody on this team had been able to come through with a big hit for what seemed like at least the last couple of weeks, maybe longer. Come to the plate with the bases loaded on his bobblehead night, no less, and rips one down the right field line, clearing the bases, and at the time giving the Dodgers a 5-3 lead. Is that the moment? Is that this offense had been constipated, Greg? Is this the moment that they finally are able to get things going? Because it feels like it only takes one. So I guess we're all hoping that this was the one that really generates some offense for this team.
Yeah, I really do hope so. And I think part of it, I love that it was Max Muncy. And I love the fact that it wasn't a home run. It was a triple. It was really a double that turned itself into a triple. But the fact that it was a shot down the right field line, it wasn't the home run. It kept the inning moving. They didn't score anything more. But the fact is that they actually did move runners around and keep moving in. And I love the fact that it was Muncy, who had been struggling. He struggled against off-speed pitches again a little bit later. But he had been struggling. He had been it was like home run or bust kind of things. So I love the fact that he got a ball over the first baseman's head, doubled down the line that turned into a triple. That makes me feel better about a lot of things. And the fact that they were just getting guys on base and moving guys around. And when you saw that it was bases loaded and 2 outs, Marcus, what did you think was going to happen with Max Muncy? I know what I was thinking.
I thought he was going to strike out on a changeup.
Yeah, I thought he was striking out on a changeup off the plate. Too far out. I said it to Gene. I'm sitting there, oh, God, it's base loaded 2 out. I go, he's going to strike out on an off-speed pitch outside. Look at this. Watch this. And then,
just
boom.
Strike out on a changeup. Yeah. And he just ripped. And so I was doing something else. I was actually watching that part on my phone, and I saw the first baseman leap, and my first thought was, oh, he's going to catch that. I thought for some reason, because I couldn't quite see it well enough on the phone, I thought for sure that Caglione was going to somehow pick that ball out of the air, and that would be because that's the other thing that happens is when they hit the ball hard, it always seems that it's either at someone or someone makes a diving catch. So when it got down the line, I was elated, right? Because it meant easily 2 runs, so that was going to put them ahead regardless. Then you see Tucker coming around third and scoring that third run, which, side note, this is not a criticism. This is just an observation, right? Kyle Tucker, Mr. Lack of Emotion, scores from first on a big hit that extends the lead. He jumps up and basically just gives you a golf clap.
It's like,
like really, I mean, he jumped up, he gave it like one of those, and like that was it. Like
yeah.
this is a big moment, man. Like you guys haven't had any offense in like a month.
Right.
This is like a big hit, and
Hey,
like
I touched home
that's
plates.
right. Like like at this point, like it's not it's just an observation because that's just who Kyle Tucker is. That's probably who he's always going to be. I found that part amusing last night.
Yeah.
Uh, but overall, it was good. I mean, you mentioned they got runners on. They moved runners over. They had 4 extra base hits last night, even 2 in the same inning, which feels impossible nowadays for this group. Greg, 4 out of 11, 4 for 11 with runners in scoring position. That's huge. I know it's one night, right, after they've been struggling for a while, but it felt nice for them to look like the Dodgers that we saw back in like April and May again.
Yeah, no, it did, and I think that you see this a lot though. It happens with a lot of teams. There's a lot of times. I think what was it? It was the 2024 World Series against the Yankees when they started getting hits late in the game in Game 3, and then we were like, we don't want them to get hot. You have to shut them down. Do not let them get hot because it's just seeing the ball put into play, seeing the ball hit the barrels, seeing that kind of stuff happen. It leads you to more of those types of situations. You start feeling good, and then they won Game 4, and they won Game 4 pretty handily. Obviously came back. They were winning Game 5. We all know the story of how it would have happened in Game 5. But the fact is, once you start seeing that happen, you start saying, "Oh, I remember what this feels like. This is what the types of pitches I have to look for." It just changes your entire mindset. So hopefully, this is what that is. That hey, we're seeing the ball a little bit better. We're getting barrel on ball. We're finding grass, like you always like to say. All those things are all starting to happen. Now you say, okay, it doesn't matter who the team is against. I don't care that it's the Royals and they're a team that has been struggling and not a very good baseball team. They looked like a really good baseball team to me last night, no matter what, because teams play up to the Dodgers over and over again. And Bobby Witt is freaking amazing. Caglio, Jesus, I thought he was going to hit a home run every time he came to the plate.
Yeah, Caglione has been on fire. Bobby Witt is just a straight up dude. I remember that when I went to see them 2 years ago, the last time they came to Dodger Stadium, and I went to one of those games, and I just sat in awe watching Bobby Witt play. And my thought at the time, because I think at the point that I think Mookie Betts might have still been playing the outfield, and I was kind of like, okay, so when do the Dodgers trade for Bobby Witt? When do they just come get him to play shortstop?
Can we trade for him before the lockout so that we just ruin baseball a little bit more? I would
just
love
to keep. I mean, like we've already ruined baseball. Why not just do it some more? Yeah, I mean, like that top part of the order between Lofton and Caglione just were trouble last night all together, which I think is a good way to sort of transition to Tarik Skubal, who everybody was excited to see him at Dodger Stadium wearing a Dodger uniform, and the it wasn't great. I mean, he battled, Greg, but he was not really efficient. I don't know if it's that the Royals, because they had seen him just like 2 weeks prior, sort of had something for him, but I don't think it was the start that everybody had imagined it would be.
No, I mean, I think through his first 2 starts with the Dodgers, you're left wanting a little bit more. I think, but at the same time, you can also see like, oh, when this guy is on, he's going to be freaking amazing, and I think he's going to be great, and I think he's going to really just shove when it comes to the postseason. But there's a lot of things in there. I mean, he's walking guys. He just is not finding the plate. I don't know what it is. He probably is just like the hype of being in Dodger Stadium, the hype of being on a new team where you have to, now you're coming here and you're looking at someone that's going to be not a savior because they have so many great number 1 starting pitchers, but also like this team is expected to win. They are expected to win the World Series and three-peat, and I'm a huge part of that. I think it's just getting to him a little bit, and he'll calm down and he'll ease up, but 2 walks in the last start, 2 walks in this start for a guy that coming in here had less than 20 walks on the season. That is kind of an odd number for him, and he hit a guy. So there's, he's just a little bit wild right now. And the home run ball has been something that he's been giving up too. But I look, I wouldn't say that was a good start. I wouldn't say it was a bad start.
Yeah, I mean, it just was. I think we're waiting for that Tarik Skubal 7 inning, 10 strikeout start, right?
Yeah.
And so far it hasn't quite happened. Now here's the thing: the game against the Cubs, he gave up what 2 runs I think in that game, where like
Yeah.
one of them was because the defense sort of let him down, and then he had that weird Baltimore chop off the plate where it's just like there's nothing you can do about that, right? That was just some bad luck. This one, I think he's just sort of battled the wildness. The fastball he was struggling to locate consistently, and it felt like once the Royals realized that he couldn't consistently throw the fastball for strikes, the changeup became a little bit less effective. And then if he threw anything within a mile of the strike zone, Jack Caglione was ready to pounce on it last night. So again, I'm not worried about it. It's just I think we're just waiting for that big Tarik Skubal moment, and it hasn't quite happened yet. His next start, I believe, is Sunday against the Brewers. It's sometime over the weekend, I believe, against the Brewers.
Yeah. Well,
So
today, if he pitched on Monday, it would probably be Sunday. You would think with the 6-man rotation, but yeah, it's either.
yeah.
So, would make sense.
Yeah. So looking forward to that one, because I think that's you want to talk about adrenaline, right? Because that series should feel like a playoff series, and the Brewers were very much in the mix reportedly for Tarik Skubal's services. So I think that one's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see sort of how he turns up for that. But yeah, I'm not worried.
It's going to be an interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's not about worry right now. I think it's an interesting series though, because think about it. If it can go very much if you want to get back into the race for a number 1 or number 2 seed, so you have that bye. This series is a really big series. Like if you can win this series, you're right back in at the top of it, because you're what 3 or 4 games. I didn't see what the Brewers did last night, but you're probably
they ended up losing, so they're 3 games back. Yeah.
So they're 3 games back. So depending on what happens the rest of this series, and then going into that series, that could change the whole dynamic. You're either right there for the number 1 overall seed, or you're pushed way far down into a situation where you're looking dead at a wild card spot, because you're beating up on each other, and the Braves are going to do what the Braves are going to do. So this is a huge series for the Dodgers. It's a huge series for the Brewers. This is going to be it's an interesting one. So winning this series, and hope if you can find a way to sweep, that would be the most ideal, obviously. But if you can find a way to win this series, that would go a long way towards going to the Brewers series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think for me, this series is about just getting that momentum back again. I mean, you talk about seeing results, and I think that's what this series is supposed to be about for me, that you're playing a team that is not having a good year. The Royals are very much sort of out of things, and they're kind of playing out the string at this point, 13 and a half back in the division, not really a factor in the wild card at this point. So, I look at this as the Dodgers trying to just get healthy, right? Get some good swings, have some good innings on the mound, play some good defense, and hopefully that starts to kind of build that momentum, build that confidence for what is going to be a huge series against the Brewers coming, a 4-game series at that, against Milwaukee coming up this weekend. And so I think we started to see a little bit of that last night, right? The offense coming to life was maybe the biggest thing. I think it's worth noting that you had some decent base running, right? I mean, it felt, Greg, like everybody was staying close to first base, so nobody was going to get picked off last night. But you had a couple of aggressive sends by Dino Ebel that worked out. I mean, that first Freddie Freeman RBI single, it was just a ground ball to left field, and the left fielder was pretty shallow. They sent Shohei, and he scored on that. Sending Kyle Tucker on the Muncy double, Dino was aggressive, and it worked in his favor. I think that helps with the base running confidence too.
No, it does, absolutely, and especially, I mean, I think it showed who he was sending. I think with Shohei at least. Tucker a little bit more interesting. I think it's also Dino Ebel just knowing who is in right field and what the type of arm that he has. So, and the right fielder is
it was Starling Marte.
Starling Marte, yeah, man, it's Starling Marte. Like you, I think he knows. Like, okay, if you can run on this guy. If it was somebody with a better arm, they probably hold up. But also, you trust Shohei in those situations. You think that Shohei can make it home. Tucker, not as much, but I think the way that everything was moving around, you wanted to add that extra run. I know I at least, and I know Jeff Spiegel does too. I give a lot of hell to Dino Evil because he usually sends people at the wrong time and holds them up at the wrong time. But the fact is, he does know. He's been around a long time. He knows what kind of arm everybody has and when and not to send people. I think that it helps, and I love the fact that you said that they were sitting there and like a little bit closer to first base. Can't keep letting that happen. It happened way too much. Shohei got picked off. Tommy Edman got picked off. Like people are getting picked off. What's happening on the bases is why they're losing so many games. So it's nice to see that they were, let's just clear everything up, tighten up the little things that are going on, and then everything else will all start to come into play.
Side note, weird thing that happened last night. The Dodgers turned more double plays than they hit into.
Well,
that's
close.
Weird.
It got close.
Yeah, Edmund just barely beat one out.
It's a good thing he did too.
It would have been, yeah, yeah. That I don't have an answer for that. It's just frustrating, and like that's my fear. Every time they get a guy on first base, I'm just like, please, just don't hit to a double play. That's all I'm asking. Just don't do that.
It's such a frustrating thing. Every time, like you've got to be kidding me. Another one. They have 101. They broke 100 yesterday.
That's insane.
Unbelievable.
That is insane. Have we talked about how Andy Pages needs to have his challenge privileges revoked?
Can we just cut it?
Have we talked about?
Can we just get rid of it? I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and we're saying no more. Andy Pages, no, you're out. You're done.
You were not allowed. Like it's got to be 2 outs in the 9th inning. Like that's when you get to challenge.
You're not allowed to challenge anything, and especially if there's already a challenge gone, Andy Pages, you're not allowed.
Oh, you definitely are not. You are not allowed to.
It.
If there's only one, you are absolutely not allowed to do it. We looked it up before the show. What was it that he's 11 and 13?
Yeah, 11 to 13. So it's below 500, and it doesn't seem like it's getting better. That's way too far for my eyes, so I can't. If you can see it, because I'd have to turn my head, and that doesn't all look all that great. So yeah, 11 to 13, 46%. It's just not great. I don't know who anybody else is, but they're just not that great at who's that with the 10-1, 4 losses. I bet Shohei's not very good at it either. Teoscar. Yeah. Wow, look at Teoscar.
Oh, all right. Good for Teo. Yeah, I don't think Shohei's particularly good at challenging.
Does he even challenge? Does it say Shohei's challenges on there, Carlo?
I mean, I think he has. I'm pretty sure he's done it a couple of times. I don't think he's done it very often.
He's 5th. Oh, Shohei is 5th. He's won 4 challenges and lost 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also feel like Shohei's probably like, you know what? F it, I'll just get a hit. I think that's probably his mentality on that.
But I mean, you see it all the time. I feel like all the time there's pitches that I'm like, why are you not challenging that, Shohei? You're Shohei. Like, if anybody's allowed to challenge pitches, you should be one of them allowed to. And although, I mean, do we truly trust that he knows the strike zone as well as anybody else? And according to that, no. But also, like, he swings at a lot of bad pitches.
He swings at a lot of garbage, man. I mean, and you've talked about it too. I know Travis has said this. There are times when you watch Shohei at the plate when he's going bad. You watch him and you're like, have you played this game before? Like, do you know what's happening up there?
You've held a bat before, right?
Right, and then like just when we think that, then he hits one in the parking lot, and you're like, okay, yeah, you're fine.
Right. Sometimes I feel like he's doing what Greg Maddux did, where he'd throw a pitch that he hit for a home run, just so he can later on be like, ha ha ha, you were going to throw it. He thought I was going to throw that. I did something else. I think he swings at pitches sometimes to be like, when I see you later, I'm going to smack that for a home run. At least you think you got me, don't you? At least I'm hoping.
I mean, I once heard that same thing about Manny Ramirez too, but I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's enough going on in Manny's head to actually actually make that true.
Manny's a different type of cat.
It was a different kind of guy. Otherwise, like the things from last night, before we move on, Jack Dreyer, who had been hot. Yeah. I blame Jeff Spiegel because he came on the show yesterday and talked about how good Jack Dreyer had been. And then he gives up a 2-run homer that tied the ball game. But beyond that, I thought another generally pretty good night for the bullpen. Vezia gave you a clean shutout inning. Tanner Scott did walk a guy, but gave you a clean inning. And then Edwin Diaz, man. Just when we were all holding our breath. he gave you a 1-2-3 inning to close it out, which was a nice bounce back from what we'd seen the last couple of times.
Absolutely, and he had a nice slider that looks that one's looking good because that all comes down to what a slider is. But the thing about the Dryer thing that you mentioned, it's not Dryer because Dryer has been really good, like everybody's been saying. I think it was like 1 run or 2 runs in his last 19 innings before that 2-run home run to tie the game. It still was that the fact is the shutdown innings. We talk so much, you and I, about shutdown innings, and they're struggling so much with this. I don't understand why it is. Every time they score some runs, you think, okay, great. Immediately, the next half inning, they're giving up runs. That's a huge spot where they need to fix that up, because in the playoffs especially, if you score runs, you have to have a shutdown right after. It takes away all momentum from the other team. It gets them thinking like, oh God, now I have to swing it up this kind of pitch because I need to get things moving again. Shutdown innings are so huge, and we are not seeing that with regular. We're not seeing anything good really over the last week with this team. But the shutdown inning, that's another thing that they really still need to shore up, because it happened again last night. Can happen. Need to get those the next half inning, get everybody out.
Yeah, for sure.
1, 2, 3,
by the way,
bang, kicking out.
George Lopez shouting out the Tommy Edman catch, which was phenomenal last night.
So good. Full sprint dive. That was amazing.
Just a phenomenal catch last night by Tommy Edman out there in left field to end the inning too, which if he doesn't make that catch, I mean, Marte is probably standing on third, maybe scores. I don't know, but that was fantastic. Game
let me
2.
ask you, hold on, Richard, ask him real fast. Is there anything that worries you about Teoscar Hernandez right now? He has now been pulled twice for a left-handed pitcher. Or sorry, a right-handed pitcher.
I just think he is struggling that bad, and it's like he's missing fastballs down the middle. He's chasing pitches out of the zone. He's just struggling to put the ball in play. When he does, it's weak contact. I mean, I just think of all the guys going through it, he might be going through it the most. And I think that's just, I think especially last night when you had Kyle Tucker, who has been hot, when you have him on the bench and you bring in a right-handed pitcher, it sort of seemed like a no-brainer. But they're going to need him to figure it out, because he's going to have to play consistently in the playoffs. But yeah, he's just going through it right now.
Yeah, it's just a little shocking that he has been pulled twice in a row for a right-handed pitcher with a right hand. Well, he's a right-handed hitter. It's obviously, I mean, it's for matchups, but you're taking out Teo for matchups. That's a bad spot for Teo.
It is a bad spot for Teo for sure. So hopefully he can kind of figure some things out, because they're certainly going to need him down the stretch. Game 2 of the series tonight. Blake Snell, welcome back, Snellzilla. We'll see which version of him we get after an extended period, an extended absence away from this team. So looking forward to that. A chance to sort of get right, as long as he can avoid getting Caglioned tonight. So we'll see how that goes. But first pitch, 7:10. Should be fun.
Yeah, it should be fun. I think if it was anybody else, I'd be worried. But Blake Snell does this every single year. Not just with the Dodgers. He misses most of the year, comes back for the second half, and he's typically amazing. Remember, it was 2 years ago, he was with the Giants, I believe, and he missed half the year, came back and threw a no-hitter, and almost won the Cy Young, I think, or maybe did win the Cy Young. But either way, he misses a half a year and is amazing in the second half. I think he's just used to this type of structure. So I have high hopes for Blake Snell.
I mean, he's a part-time employee, and sometimes that's okay. So we'll see how it goes tonight against the Royals. All right, stick around. The Sedano and Cap Morning Extravaganza coming up right after us. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Carlo for production assistance. But that'll do it for this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. For Greg, I am Marcus. We'll see you tomorrow, 6:30 to 6:55, right here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you.